What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Triangle. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl CJ.
And if you had to pick between being stabbed in the eye or shot in the eye, which one you going to? Yeah, you can survive both. You can survive both.
Okay, I was gonna say if you get
Stab
shot,
me, shit.
stab. I guess.
You gotta shoot me, die.
No, but you gonna shoot half my fucking face off if you
I
stab me. I'm gonna
know.
be blind to one eye.
Because it only hits you. You know, if you're blinded by anything, you'll be blinded by the light.
Oh my god.
No, like if I'm shot, it's like it's over with. I kind of feel like a stab's gonna take a little long.
Oh.
But if I'm gonna survive it, I'd rather take a stab to the eye.
Yeah.
But if I get shot, it's gonna blow all these bones and shit.
No, because it depends
you know?
on. Okay, so I guess it depends on like the bullet. So I'm not saying it's like a sawed-off shotgun to the face.
Are you saying it's gonna be like a clean bullet
it's
wound?
Clean, and it sounds better to say I got shot in the eye rather
I
than
don't know.
stabbed in the eye.
I don't know.
You get cool points, like yo, I got shot in the fucking eye, bitch.
Yeah, I got shot. No,
Yeah, street
that's when you
cred.
got
That's
shot in
what
the
that
face.
is.
Like, I got shot in the face.
I
What?
can't stand you.
Why'd you get shot in the face?
That's crazy shit.
I won a game of Jenga and it got crazy. So.
Oh.
Like, you think I'm scared of you, motherfucker? I got shot in the face.
I got shot in the face. Basically, you gonna mess with somebody got shot in the face? No.
Nope.
Yeah, nah.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Jesus.
But I'm Brandy. Sorry.
Yes. Hi, Brandy. Anywho, so today's episode is the WTF episode. We're doing some weird conspiracy theories around this. It's the what the fuck
like,
is up with the
Brandy so ripped?
oh my god, the EU Parliament, St. John the Divine Cathedral, and the Rockefeller Center.
And whatever else we honestly feel like talking about.
Yeah, we can. So what do you
Like
want to start with? You want to start with the quick one, the EU Parliament? Everybody
I actually
knows.
wanted to start with that Children's Book of Demons.
That's right. Let's do this.
And
Let's do this.
Children's Book of Demons.
Yeah. I'm going to be quick on that because my phone's going to die and we've already talked about all this, so they know what it is. Love you guys, whatever. So Aaron Layton decided to write literally the Children's Book of Demons. I want to show y'all this shit. Don't mind my house. I'm making costumes. But that's the...
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not okay.
Let's no, it's not okay at all. So it's like they make cute little jokes about, oh, you don't want to take out the trash, don't want to do your homework, the bully's messing with you, you know what to do, summon a demon. So yeah.
No way.
Really fast. The pictures aren't loading right now. I'm gonna recover the webpage and then I'm gonna show some more stuff.
Are you serious?
They have like the inverted pentagram. They have all the regular, signs you have of the magic with a K, not the one with a C. So, and for those that, look it up. It's a difference. So the fact that they're even putting this in this form to make it cute reminds me of, I remember hearing somebody say, a witch themselves. Because they just liked being called a witch. They didn't want to be a light or dark because they were like, look, witchcraft is witchcraft to them. They still recognize light and dark aspects of it, like with anything, but they're like, just like with a human being, I'm not a good person, I'm a bad person, or a bad person, I'm just a person. I have good and bad moments. So that's how they were viewing their witchdom or whatever, because I was just letting them talk.
Witchery
and trickery, whatever. I was just like, you probably want to talk to CJ, but I find people open up to me about crazy shit, so I'm letting them talk. But I like the point that he was making about that, because I was like, well, yeah, if you look at it like that, there is no, like, Wicked Witch of the West. There is no Glinda. It's like, y'all, they're all witches. You just decided to make different choices, but all witches. So it's interesting that this gets put in different fairy tales, books, cartoon shows. I think a lot of things that are out there now, especially for children, now that a lot of us have kids or we're watching things with our kids and we're seeing them through different lens now. So I don't think something like this would have bothered me when I was younger. I would have thought anybody older than me was over exaggerating. You know what I mean?
True.
Like you're making too big of a deal about this in this cartoon or this, or if you're talking about this agenda, I wouldn't believe it. And now that I know, and we're big into symbolism, like, I mean, just look at this shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like, it's, also
They
I'm
tell
wondering.
you the demon's name and then they tell you what it
Oh,
does.
no.
and they tell you how to summon it. So I'm like, what in the Southern Baptist bullshit?
Listen, like, so also I think there's a lot of children's books geared towards because you know, Satanism is an actual religion too.
Yeah.
I feel like people who mostly would purchase that is either for like educational studies because they're studying religion, or parents of children who are Satanists, or you know, whatever.
You know what? I'm going to counter what CJ's saying. I think they did that book like that because they know outside of who CJ just said, your main market is the dense, the people that aren't paying attention.
Too. I'm not saying excluding them. I'm saying with them included.
Yeah, I think you make something like that with those people in mind, but your main market are the people that don't know no better and just look and they're like, oh, this is a cute design. Like,
yeah, because to your point,
happy.
Still one of my favorite characters is the devil from Powerpuff Girls.
Because, him?
Right, him. And
with the heels?
But if you think about it, knowing what you know, and you think about the depiction that he has, because even in South Park, the devil was also like, they did that on purpose, like everything, the characters and all of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never seen the devil in a cartoon show be hyper masculine ever.
No, because in satanic religion and Luciferian religion, they have both body parts, so they're supposed to be both feminine and masculine at the same time.
Somebody's doing their research when they're making these characters, because the devil from Cow and Chicken that always had his ass out. That nigga ain't
But you know,
he's like, let me do some research later on tonight.
It's the same across the board. I'm definitely gonna go. I need you to text me the title of that book so I don't forget. And so I
can definitely get that to you, because I was like,
that's so crazy.
I know y'all fucking lying.
So that's a great segue into actually the Rockefeller Center has the Prometheus statue.
Oh yeah, they do. They have a lot of statues out there that I never knew were nods to other
gods. Have you seen those guys? Period.
I regret not going by the Rockefeller Center. I was in New York and did not go to the Rockefeller Center like a dumbass.
Nigga.
I was too fixated. You know what?
That's the soundbite right there. That's the soundbite.
I wanted to walk down the street with a slice of pizza and listen to Lucini on my headphones.
Do like super New Yorker thing?
Lucini pouring from the sky. I was really doing that shit.
Okay. I really love what Dee just threw out there, and I have to do that the next time I'm in New York.
Do it.
New York is the best, by the way. If we have any listeners from New York, I'm obsessed with your city.
Yes,
I love it so much. I am the best, like the best. And you're talking to people that have been in and out the country. I love New York. The person in the city.
You want to know what city I love more? Huh? What I love more?
What? It better say New Orleans.
Just the tape. It is New Orleans. How the hell did you know?
I knew it. You know how I knew? Because we tiger.
Oh my God. Here we go again with their disgusting tiger fire things.
No, New Orleans definitely had me. When I went for Essence Fest, I was like, I felt like I was in Wakanda. New Orleans is better than Atlanta to me, because I'm Atlanted out. Yeah, New Orleans is amazing. I want to go again for like those different tours. Like you can actually see these homes that basically people were keeping their slaves in, which was like almost every home, right? But there was one home that this person, and I heard about it on this podcast that I love besides ours, called Lore. And she was taking the slaves and experimenting on them, doing different bloodletting just for her own pleasure, not for experimenting medical wise, just because, just like there's sick motherfuckers now, there were sick motherfuckers then. And I almost feel like it was worse then, because you had more access to treat people that you didn't view as human beings inhumanely.
I don't think it's any less worse now. That's why people are missing from us. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying, the melanated peoples are missing, and there's no search parties out looking for us. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I went road. I'll tell you when I had to go riding a few months ago.
What? Oh yeah, with your cousin.
So yeah, we went riding. We was gonna pop the shit out the motherfucker.
Yes, you went riding. Get in the car.
Get in the fucking car.
So the Rockefeller Center has a statue of Prometheus, which, if you are into symbolism and stuff like that, some people say is a symbol for Lucifer, because Prometheus. Huh?
Prometheus is a symbol for Lucifer?
Because he's the bringer of fire. and light, which would be the same
and
as
the gift of
Lucifer.
knowledge, and
Okay.
and that's how they twist it.
Illumination.
Illumination. Because remember what Satan did? He like took the knowledge of music and entertainment, math and stuff, and gave it to the world, right? And that's why God got mad, because he gave them the knowledge tree, like they told them to eat the apple. So what they're saying is Prometheus did the same thing, because he essentially gave mankind knowledge of fire.
Which another thing tying into
Crazy.
just how the devil just be fucking up shit. So I remember, I forget who I was talking about this years ago when I started paying attention to symbolism, and how everybody knows either an uncle or a grandmama, somebody who would always say, "Oh, the devil's in the music, the devil's in the music." And I'm like, how was I never really catching? You basically got
my
like,
dad said it. I never
you
caught
basically
it.
got like the best angelic, like it was his job to get up and wake everybody else with music before his fall. So I'm like, there's no matter what you believe in, there's no way there's not a correlation, because music and the industry and how it be moving people.
We're gonna make a whole episode out of that, because there's a whole thing.
The control that they have, demonic chords. There's all type of shit, man.
Okay, so do you guys know of that guy? I don't know what I want to say from maybe the Renaissance era, and he wrote a song, and they were asking like, this song is so beautiful, what inspired you to write it? He was like, oh, I really didn't. He said that the devil wrote it for him.
Oh, see, nah.
And he like made a deal or so. I forget. Don't quote me on it, but
No, I believe you. It's probably very close to the story.
With the devil, and then the devil was like, I'm gonna write the song for you. And he said when he heard it, he said it was the most beautiful thing he had ever heard in his life. But he remembered how to play it, and he was able to play it, and it's famous now.
See,
the song.
I don't play with that. I don't play with that.
I have to get more details. Listeners, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get more information on that. And
we're going to write it down. I remember hearing something like that. But so here's the thing.
I'm showing like pictures of like.
Oh, there it is. And that ring around him are the 12 zodiacs, by the way, from astrology. Right. Right. And don't forget, Prometheus was outcast by Zeus because of what he did. Just the same story as Lucifer being outcast by God. Like, people don't know, like, the correlation between all of these religions, but they have very similar shit going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's the Prometheus fountain. There's a better
there we go. If you're watching the YouTube channel, you can check out the picture that Brandy got on screen. If you're just listening, Google it on your lunch break or whenever you got a moment. It's pretty crazy. Like, and it makes you think about...
he was a Titan, by the way, for anybody that was really into Greek mythology, because I loved all that shit. I mean, I loved it. All that Xena, Hercules, all that stuff. I was so into it. So anytime I hear Titan, I'm like, oh, them was one of the big dogs.
Yeah, they definitely put him out. The other thing I was going to say, I was going to talk about it in depth later, like on another show, but his other nickname was like Morning Star or Morning Moon, things like Morning Star. Listen, y'all been to the grocery store and there's this whole brand called Morning Star?
Sure is, for breakfast.
Yeah.
To awaken you with music.
Oh, check these out.
Because that was his job. Listen,
look at this.
I won't eat it. What is that a picture of?
These are Prometheus's creations.
Oh, see, I don't.
The youth maiden. Look, these are supposed to be basically Adam and Eve, right? Like, y'all see it good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then check that out. Look at that shit. Now, what is that? Y'all see that, right? Y'all see it?
What is that?
I see at the bottom. There's like the.
Like, it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. But that's the Masonic symbol right there.
Yeah, that's the Masonic symbol.
And there it is again.
It's like throughout the whole thing. It's really crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the fact that, like, we're supposed to be so engulfed in this, like, Christianity as a nation, and they try to make laws based on Christianity, but everywhere you look here have Greek and Egyptian gods, goddesses, things like that is, like, really concerning to me.
Yeah,
it's a completely different place.
Even it's in everything. It's our days of the week. It's our months, the calendar years, everything thing is outsourced.
It's all astrology and things like that. People don't think about the days of the days of the week or the months being anything tied to astrology, but it is.
It is, and the fact that they don't match. You ever notice that? Why is that? Do you know?
Fuck.
They don't match. They're off by 2, especially when you get down into like the end.
It's probably
like
just
October.
because.
So October is 8, right?
Yeah.
October, but it's the 10th month.
Well, it wasn't the 10th month before. It was the 8th month. Because
when did it switch? Is it when we switched calendars?
We switched the New Year's, because New Year's in witchcraft and pagan religions and even lunar calendar typically didn't start till like March.
Yeah.
So if you think
the fact that we're even like just like, how do we even know today is really today's day?
You don't, because
we literally are just trusting what was passed.
So you guys, if you look across the globe, not everybody is using the calendar that we are in mainstream, like I guess like I don't know, society. There's places that's still in 2005. There's places that's way behind because of the calendar that they use. Like it's completely different. They might have had like
in Japan, technically it's what Heisei Sanji Sanin.
So Japan, no, it's Reiwa, because they switched emperors earlier last year.
When? Last year they switched?
Yeah, they switched.
So what is it now?
Oh wait, was it this year? It was this year, I think. Either way, it's Reiwa. It's Reiwa. Ichinen, because we have a new emperor. Theirs is a little different because they named the year by emperor. So it doesn't really have anything to do with the calendar. But if you look at how they number their months, they go ichigatsu, nigatsu, sangatsu. That gatsu is the kanji for moon.
The moon.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything is surrounding all of that.
Remember everything, D.
Crazy. But no, and then what's the other one? Oh, the St. John Divine Cathedral.
Oh, wait. I have to show this really quick because they have fucking spiders.
Huh? I'm like, what?
I'm gonna show you the picture. These spiders have appeared on numerous sites across the world. They supposedly represent motherhood. And he's like, I think they represent dark forces preying over the masses. But when
motherhood,
the jokes aside, right?
No damn stork is fucking.
If I'm thinking about something that's like protecting me, I'm not thinking spiders. I'm not thinking snakes. I'm not thinking anything like that. So if I'm seeing those symbols outside of what I said, like before about a snake in medical field,
right?
I'm not thinking something's out to protect me. Spiders are like ambush predators. Like, no, look at this. Like, this shit is huge.
Oh, that looks like the fucking thing from Stranger Things, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
It looks like the character from Stranger Things. Look at Dee's face. He's like,
to be set up around the world. I'm like, I don't feel
motherhood.
Motherhood.
Okay, so I need to look into that because there's a spider on the $1 bill too.
Yep.
There is.
My brother put me on that a couple years ago.
There's also Egyptian shit too.
Yeah, it is. So like, I guess
there's
I'm gonna
too
have
much
to look
going
it up.
on in New York. As much as I do love New York, there is a reason all that stuff is there on top of everything else with 9/11.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge or major, like I guess, energetic ley line vial vortex source there, because there's no way you're harnessing something.
Yeah, because isn't the St. John Cathedral in Manhattan?
It is, and I saw it.
You're right, because I passed it.
I passed it too.
You know what's crazy?
I passed it right after
before we get into that, I almost forgot. The Prometheus has that the burning fire symbol. It's the same symbol that's I guess what Lady Liberty is holding. It's the same symbol.
Like that torch.
Yeah, the torch thing. It's the same symbol that the BBB uses. It's the same symbol that was on top of the tunnel that Princess died in. Like, you can like keep looking it up.
Symbols rule the world, man.
Dude, the Prometheus Productions that's here uses the symbol too. In the US, they make movies and shit too. I'm gonna have to see what kind of movies they have and see if they have anything in plain sight, y'all. Like, that's kind of
they do. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm just saying. But no. So the St. John Divine Cathedral houses like pillars that are carved, and it apparently depicts I guess 9/11 happening. Some people say it's 9/11. Some people have said that it's like the apocalyptic situation that might happen to the world. But there's actually like the two towers and the pillar like falling over and shit like that with other
like
buildings around it.
Like it literally looks like, it looks kind of like a wave of water because of how they have to carve it in stone. But if you look at it,
I think that's why some people were saying it's apocalyptic instead of like the Twin Towers. But there's also other stuff in there. That fucking cathedral apparently has like all kinds of evil shit that went down.
And while she's doing that, while my phone's still on it, I'm gonna show you guys like pictures.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, see, yep, there it is. They also have like pictures of the Black Madonna posted in their fucking cathedral.
Black Madonna.
That's like the, I guess like the black version of Mary that they used to convert Mexican people back in the day to Christianity.
Oh,
because she was dark, right? Yeah, it's crazy. And
persuasion.
it's a really insane. They also have like different, there's a depiction of like a wooden canvas of the founding fathers, quote unquote, of the Constitution and shit like that up there, which
and they were saying
that's odd.
This came out when they were doing it.
Is what kind of church? Is it a Catholic church?
Yeah, I guess so. It's Catholic.
So this says the completion of the cathedral was such a prized accomplishment for the Freemasons that it was featured on the front page of Masonic World, March 1925.
That's crazy, why they're in there,
baby.
Because it was. That's
and
why
then get this. Where is it at? Morningside Heights, New York.
Yeah, there you go.
Morningside Heights, New York.
Names and symbols, and then there's also
a pyramid at the top.
So they're non-denominational, technically.
They're non-denominational.
There is one group that claims that place. They do have a congregation that's theirs, which is very rare for churches. But there is one congregation that holds like their thing every day. But I can't remember the name. It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's supposedly Christian. Supposedly, but they also have on the church itself, there's like the Star of David is on there
while she's talking, because this shit is so weird.
It is really crazy because all of these.
That's like a bus. Look at this stuff.
Do you see that? How did they know to do that?
Is that what is that?
Is that a skeleton?
And they look like they are. Look at this. They look like they're running.
Yeah, people are scared, right? In that.
They don't look like.
Is he throwing scorpions or spiders though?
Is he throwing those spiders that are supposed to protect us?
Fucking. But so they're non-denominational. Apparently they do any denominational marriages, even same-sex marriages.
Shit.
Which one was that?
Can anybody tell me what the fuck this is?
Is that the one with the moon and the bird?
The moon, crab, a head.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be the pedo symbol. Apparently.
What the fuck is a pedo symbol?
There's a lot of those, actually.
Like a pedo.
Look at that. Bam.
Check it. A symbol for touching children?
There's a lot of them. And actually, I hate to do this, but
why do they need a symbol?
There is, I saved it on my
jail
phone.
Time. The fuck?
There's a picture of Dwayne Wade with his hair done in, I guess, like cornrows with those symbols woven in. And people are picking it up. Like the conspiracy theorists are picking on it. And they're like, did he have influence on his kid, or is that...
Well, even before that, people were already saying basically that this was Dwayne Wade's fault. Side note, before my phone dies, a couple of things I want you guys to make sure you get into. The fact that they have the grand procession of the ghouls at this place.
Oh yeah. I
mean,
what the fuck is that?
Look at these. First of all, I'm not gonna lie, because I like Halloween. This shit looks awesome.
Yeah, they do a ghoul parade. Basically, it's amazing.
Look at this.
They used to make us bob for apples and pray and shit.
But this church is not the church that we grew up in, D.
This is Return the Flag on you hoes. That's Courage the Cowardly Dog on it. Look at that.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Isn't that like Return the Flag?
I'm so done. That's one of my favorite shows, by the way.
Oh, God,
that was a good one. That show was all dark for me.
But also, they do this thing where they bless bicycles.
and animals.
And they bless animals, basically, their
For what?
version of
Cows.
sacrifices.
There we go.
Cows.
Sacrifice.
I love having the pictures up while CJ's talking
I
about
know.
them.
What
It's
are they
crazy. So
sacrificing?
I'm kind of living.
here's the Dwayne Wade one. I don't know if you can see it. You see
Ooh,
those symbols?
cool.
Mhm.
Right. Weird,
They got
right?
into it.
What's
So-
being sacrificed? Like, and how? Like, are they sacrificing bicycles? You say?
I think that's a symbolism thing. I'm gonna have to look that up because I just
What is
learned
the
about the
bike
bicycle
represent?
thing. I know they've been doing animals because they used to do sacrificial stuff with the animals. But
Animal
now,
sacrifice.
but now they
Baptist
just like
church.
they bless, quote unquote, they do blessings over them, which I don't
So-
understand. None of this makes sense at all.
None of it.
Me knowing my peoples, my Caribbean peoples,
Uh-huh.
the only time I know of any type of animal being sacrificed or why animals should be sacrificed is for a religious purpose outside
For
of
a ritual,
Christianity.
right?
A ritual. So
Right.
for this to be considered a church,
It's a
get
little
the fuck
weird.
outta here.
I mean, it's a
little
whole ass
weird.
cathedral, and like people who were involved was crazy. Like Tiffany and Co. did the glass in their church too. They took it down. It's not in there anymore, but it's in the museum for Tiffany and Co. But they had like people with money, just like up in there, like with money.
And the fact that they were having to sacrifice animals when in Christianity there was one final sacrifice.
Exactly. That's like the craziest
So
thing.
it's like, what the fuck are you still sacrificing shit if there was just, I don't know. This shit is crazy.
I don't know either. Oh, I think Brandy died out.
Do your
Not like
research. Look at her.
literally. I meant like figuratively.
No, look how she's frozen on the screen. I think we should leave it for aesthetics.
Well, I gotta pause it so we can go to a quick commercial and come back. So we'll do that real quick. Okay, we'll be right back, guys.
We'll be back. And welcome back.
Yes.
And why am I off? Yeah,
I don't know.
off.
There you go. We're
go.
back.
Welcome back.
Brandy's phone died, per usual. Apparently we take too long to record. She'd be sad and mad, but it's okay.
So sad.
It's okay. We don't have much to say. We only have one little part left. We were just talking about the St. John Divine Cathedral, which is crazy. They're like a plethora of symbolism. If you have time, go dig into it. We were just talking, me and Dee were just talking, like, you can't just type it into YouTube and expect it to come up anymore because they have
anymore.
The algorithm is fucked up. If you type in conspiracy theory, the first thing that you're going to see is the one from BuzzFeed, which is not good, guys. It's not good. Don't watch BuzzFeed ones. I'm not saying don't watch them like that. I mean, like, don't take them with a grain of salt.
Watch it, but that's CJ.
take a damn D. Take it with a grain of salt because they're not all that great with the accuracy on some of the stuff. Anyway, what's the next part? Oh, the EU Parliament.
Yes.
Excuse me.
What's up with that?
Well, first of all, for those of you who don't know, the EU is the European Union. The UK recently detached itself again.
Brexit.
Brexit. They've been in there for 47 years this time around, right?
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah. Really?
This is their second exit, right?
Is their second exit?
Is it their second exit?
I have no idea.
What? Let me see. I feel like this is their second exit. Am I tripping?
So this better be the last time, because I mean,
it might be the way the world is working right now.
Like, let this be your last and final fucking time. You're already kicking out your black fucking royal people.
I have something to say about that though. I say, how many times have the UK left
the EU?
The EU. Let's see if anything pulls up. Like, so there's one for 2020 coming up. Well, they already left, I guess. But I don't know if they have anything from back in the day. I feel like they left again. Maybe I could be wrong. Because they were there for 47 years. When did the EU?
Is the EU even that old? Like, how old is the EU?
Maybe there was another group that I'm thinking of because they just like.
Because I want to say, I remember like when Euros became a thing in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like fairly recent.
That's true.
It was like, because I remember like when hearing about like the different European countries and their currencies, learning about that in school. And I remember hearing about the franc and all that other stuff that they don't use anymore because everybody's on the euro. Or maybe the European Union existed and I just didn't know. They just weren't on that whole currency thing. Who knows? But
their thing is weird too, so that might be why. Well, okay, the EU's been around since 1957. I think I might be right. This might be their second exit.
47 years.
Because they just exited at 47 years.
So and the whole currency thing was fairly new.
Yeah, the currency thing was fairly new. But so why I'm saying that and why I think it's important is because of the Nostradamus thing that I read about the EU going up and then falling twice. You remember me reading that to you?
I do remember that.
So if that was
quatrains
of Nostradamus, I think that might be part of it. Also, the biggest reason why we're bringing up the EU Parliament today is the building itself is formed after the Tower of Babel. Did you know that?
Nice. Didn't know that, but I know now. Nice.
They actually have like crazy things that like look like the Tower of Babel on their poster, I think.
So is this in writing somewhere like this is modeled after the Tower of Babel, or is it speculation?
It's not. I don't even know if we can say it's speculation because let me pull up a picture real quick for you. The typical Tower of Babel that you usually see. I wish I could like make this bigger. I hate that. I really hate that. Is this right here next to each other? Can you see that? Let me turn this down a little.
Me and Night.
Oh, dang. I wish I could. D might have to put. You got it? Right. Hold on.
Yeah, I can see it a little.
It's a little bright. My phone's a little bright, maybe. I might have to turn it down. So basically, it is literally shaped like it. I don't know who thought this was a good idea or, you know what I mean? Like, I really wish, where is this? Oh, here we go. This poster for Europe, it says many tongues, one voice. That's why they made it look.
Okay, well, there we go.
That, you know, but here's the poster, right? Like, I'm going to turn this light around. Let me see if I can adjust it. I hate my HD camera. It's so good that it picks up all the things.
Your camera brightens a little light.
It is. I don't know why it's doing that. I made it so dark. Maybe try that. How's that?
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I want you to take note of the stars, though, that they put up there. Why do they look like horns? Because they outstretched the stars and made them upside down.
They made them upside down, and they're very
Baphomet-like. Baphomet-like.
Very Baphomet. Yeah.
I might have to add that. I'm gonna try this again with the other picture too. There we go. You can see it now.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Oh yeah.
It looks just the EU building, the Parliament building looks just like the Tower of Babylon that's usually depicted in a lot of places. So I'm just, the symbolism is not ending anywhere anytime soon. Like all the things that we talked about is crazy. Like I ain't never about to eat or drink anything that have like weird like sheep and horns and things like that. Y'all really need to check the food too.
Starbucks. Like Starbucks fucked me up for a little bit. I'll still go there from time to time because I got the app and I get discounts and shit. But yeah, like that's another one that I need to like check myself for in the future.
Yeah, because the symbolism, like I was saying, like Morningstar breakfast foods. Like you think about how the symbol of Lucifer is about waking angels up and people up in the morning with music, and then Morningstar makes breakfast foods, and his other nickname was Morningstar. Yeah, I might be tripping, but maybe not, nigga. Like,
right? What are you really consuming? Who is producing this for you to consume?
Yeah,
maybe you should take that in consideration and do your own research. If you feel that it's for you, then okay, maybe not eat that anymore. If you feel it's not for you, then continue to do what you're doing.
I remember Brandy sent me a picture of her little tea that she found, and then on the back she looked and it was like sheep's head or some shit like that, and I was like, oh girl, I would not be drinking any of that
sheep's
shit.
Head?
Or like the sheep's head, or what is it, the goat head, sorry. Goat hat. He said, no.
Anything goat nowadays is fucking me up with that GOAT hashtag goat.
So
fucks me up a little bit.
I told Brandy about that, and she was like, what? I was like, everybody's like, oh, the greatest one of all time is the GOAT. Y'all need to stop saying that shit, because that is not what you're giving power to. I don't know if people realize that. And you want to know why the world is getting more fucked up. It ain't got nothing to do with people taking God out of the schools. It is the way that we are communicating in society that's bringing about this fucking energy. Call me crazy. I don't mind. But I'm telling you right now, you got to stop using like goat and shit. And this whole thing, because we're going to do an episode on Crowley probably, because he is part of the...
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, he has a lot to do with yoga, right? And he also, right. And so now all of a sudden this goat yoga thing is trending. Have you seen that?
I have not seen goat yoga.
Goat yoga. Look it up. There's goat yoga now. You can look it up. It's a thing. And to me, like, it's just a combination of like, it's like B would say, right? Like, if we start seeing symbols, you can't unsee it anymore, because that's how you start to think and realize things are going on. I don't know that I particularly want to be around a whole bunch of goats and shit. I think everybody should watch that fucking movie, The Witch, one time and see how you feel about goats afterwards. Because that depiction of that, and like, the fact that, what is it? Stephen King said that movie was scary. I thought it was going to be a lot more gorier.
Which one?
The Witch.
Oh,
Stephen King said, he said it was a mind fuck. And I was wondering why he said that, because it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be graphically. It's scary like in your mind, kind of, even if you know what's coming, which also means that he might know some shit about rituals and shit too, that he's not letting
so if anybody knows anything about anything,
I know
it's gonna be Stephen King, because he had my whole psyche fucked up at the age of 12.
Right.
Because I fucked around and read a book.
See?
Shouldn't have read it. I was 12. I read The Regulators, and that shit fucked my mind. I was like, what?
I mean,
honey, what?
I think it's accurate to say he is a major reason why there's lots of kids and adults who don't like clowns. Like, let's be real, he done scared a whole ass generation everywhere. Like, everywhere.
Not fucking with it.
Not just like in the US. I'm talking like people in other countries hate clowns.
Yeah,
and
not
half
fucking
the
with
time,
it. They will translate his book and it will fuck you up the same.
The same
regardless.
thing.
It's
it
fucked
is a
up.
little crazy. I just think it's like insane that we have so many symbols that are not of Christian faith, even though we like claim to be a Christian nation all the time.
And we hold on to that so tough. Not taking anything away from anybody who does.
Not at all.
Hold on to that creed.
No,
however,
we're strictly talking in symbolic reasoning and like just conspiracy wise, nothing against religion. But
as a nation, we hold on so tight and love to throw that in somebody's face to bring someone down.
Right.
But look at what the fuck we do. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this shit is anything but the doctrine that you speak of.
So now we were talking about the cathedral, St. John's Cathedral. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that. I have no idea. But like a place like that, who's supposed to be technically very Christian, and all these like main buildings in our government, other places that are super official, have nothing but Egyptian or Greek or mythological like creatures, gods, statues. Like, you can go on and on and on and look at all this stuff. You can look it up online. It ain't like it's hiding. We're not making this shit up, I promise. Like, you know what I'm saying? You really like have to do your own research, but I think once you start digging, make sure you don't get caught up, because you're gonna need to take a break or you're gonna be depressed.
So sad. You realize your whole life was a lie.
Everything you got taught ever was never true.
Bullshit.
Like, ever.
Right.
There's the only thing they taught you how to do well is to be a fucking employee, and you doing it great.
How to be an employee and be a sheep.
They doing a great job.
Sheepish attributes. That's all they do, is teach you how to follow.
Oh yeah, for
whatever is
sure.
happening. But
And so I think that hopefully, I don't know. I mean, this is like a whole nother thing, but with this coronavirus thing happening, I feel like a lot more people will wake up because we all followed the news of where they were like, oh, nothing's really happening, guys. Don't panic. Oh, this is just in China. Don't panic. Oh, there's a couple people on this cruise ship, but don't panic. It's up to like 800, okay, on that cruise ship. Oh, you'll be leaving here. Don't panic. Like everybody was like, don't panic. Oh, it was a bat that somebody ate. Don't panic. It's
don't
in
panic
them.
because you don't eat bats. Don't panic.
Don't panic. You
But
don't
when you
eat.
break it all down, as I mentioned before, and you're gonna see this on the episode when the next episode in the news angle. I honestly think I might have contracted this shit, and
I'm
a lot of
telling
people I work
you,
with, because the way that shit put me on my ass.
you
And
probably
you know,
did.
a lot of people that I work with they went to urgent care, they went
Mm-hmm.
to the emergency room. I almost went. The only reason why I didn't go is because I fell asleep,
Right. And you
just
broke
knocked
your
out,
own
passed
fever
out.
because
I
you did
broke my
old
fever,
school
and I was like,
shit.
okay, no reason for me to go. But the people who didn't break their fever and they panicked, they went to the doctor. They're like, oh, you have the flu. Could it be that they have been given instructions like, okay, tell these people that they just have the flu to keep people from panicking?
That's
Because
what
we
I'm
know
saying.
panic ain't nothing like no U.S. panic. Because there's a
No.
lot of panic that happens around the world. But if panic breaks out in the U.S., we some ignorant motherfuckers. And I don't give a fuck. We're the best country and all that shit. Yeah, all that.
Yeah,
We
but
panic.
I
We
live in
panic the
Texas. Everybody got a crazy ass gun toting
crazy ass
somebody.
gun. When we panic, we panic. I live in Nevada. We have very
Right.
similar gun laws.
Right.
We panic.
Right.
And we get
Somebody's gonna
to
be shooting you for toilet
we
paper.
shooting
I don't
first
even.
and we asking questions later. That's just the bottom line. They shooting up Asians, Chinatown, been shut down right now.
See?
Stupid shit. Just off of ignorance and stupid shit. So it might be a reason why the doctor's telling. If the doctor knows, okay, you might be able to survive this shit. Yeah, you got the flu.
Well, here's the thing. Here, it's a respiratory infection, really, right? Like hardcore.
Just like,
yeah. But the thing is, it feels very targeted. If you look at the rate of people who are dying who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, especially, are much higher than anybody underneath that age group. And almost always the kids recover. It's not affecting the children.
Do you think that's in alignment with any other respiratory illness like influenza?
Well, here's the thing.
With the exception of how you can pass it and spread it, which is weird.
Right. So,
and the incubation period and the period that
it's all of it. It's all of it.
all
So
of it. Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Here's my thing.
Carry on.
So he said carrying. So around the time the coronavirus would have started, or a little bit before that, we've been talking impeachment of Trump, right? In the US.
And that's when my initial thought was, this is just a distraction and bullshit.
Okay, but here's the thing. I think it's the other way. I think the world leaders getting into trouble is the distraction to the coronavirus, because I think the coronavirus is a silent war. Is what my I say that because so in the US it was Trump's impeachment, in the UK it was the prince leaving with Meghan, right? In Japan, the prime minister is under fire for all this shit that he was doing for his gala and stuff, like financial shit, right? So I'm about to go look up other countries and see what their leaders have been up to, because it is really weird that all these like head leaders are in the limelight at the same time for similar shit. You know what I'm saying? Like scandalous shit. So to me, I feel like that's the, like, I guess the blinding part, and the real thing is the coronavirus. Because here's the thing. How is it that they arrested a Harvard professor for helping them manipulate a virus, but he's not at trial and nobody's talking about him? You know what I mean? What happened to that fucking
He was
story?
arrested?
He was arrested. He was taking $50K from the Chinese people or government or that laboratory or something every month, $50K, to help teach them how to manipulate viruses. It's what I understood. And I'm trying to figure out where this fucking story is. Ain't nobody talking about it. And the guy,
of course not.
The Chinese doctor who died trying to tell people that something was wrong, he went back to work once after he got sick. That means he was okay. But then they said that he caught it and died 2-3 days later. All of a sudden? Okay. that's cool. Like, what do you mean he just died? And speaking of which, people dying, they haven't done it in a couple of days. Iran and North Korea, when they found people, those people, they would go on the survey for, hey, we found 2 people. And a couple of hours later, they were like, oh, they're dead. Just so you know.
Oh, yeah, that's North Korea's way of taking care of
And
it.
Iran, too.
You already see how they do. Shit.
North Korea was talking about this one dude got told to be quarantined, but he went to a public bath, you know, like the ones in Japan where everybody shares. They're saying that he did, and they executed him for it. But they didn't go and see if anybody else needed to be tested that was at the bath. Where's the rest of them? Somebody probably would have got infected if he was actually in that bath that long.
He wasn't in that damn bath.
He didn't go nowhere. They just took him and executed him. Same thing with the 2 in Iran and stuff. Now they can't do it because it's too many people, right? I mean, I think North Korea is still doing it. And I'm still a little...
North Korea don't give a fuck.
I'm weirded out about Africa and South America. Like, either... Like I was telling you when you said that you got sick and got a cure, there's like that weird story. Don't take my word for it because I'm still searching for the answer. There is a weird story, an article I read where there was a Chinese doctor that said Black people won't die from this because they have antibodies in their body to like be okay.
I mean, that would explain why it's not happening, why you're not hearing anything in Africa, you're not hearing anything in South America.
Well, it's one of the 2 for me.
South America is like Africa 2.0 with all the slavery and shit. They got a lot of Black blood in their veins.
But what I'm saying is, but what if it's the opposite? It could be that like maybe it's true. Maybe it won't affect Black folks and brown folks as much as like the people that it's affecting. Like the fact that they had to shut down 10 cities in Italy already, craziness, right? But what if they're just not reporting it, even though there are people
in Africa?
In Africa and South America, right?
Which is being scary.
They did because they reported one from Egypt. I mean, that's in Africa technically, but that was like one, and I think one more in another country. But there's like 2 people in Africa. I'm kind of like
in the whole damn country.
Yeah, which is like, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, little CJ's tidbit for the day. Africa is the largest continent in the globe, but they fucking make it smaller to fit the map that you're looking at in books and on the globe for a reason. They centered that shit so they wouldn't have to really put out how big Africa actually is. You're welcome. That's your tidbit of the day from CJ.
That's your tidbit. That's
but like
shit.
But what if we actually have the cure in our blood, but it's actually not that, and they're just not reporting it? Because if they're not just reporting it, then they're screwed just as well.
Yeah.
You know,
extra screwed due to their circumstance and how the world works.
By the way, I just read, and I'll post this on our Instagram too because I screenshot it. The CDC was talking about, you know, a lot of the clinics are prepared to with the PRC kit, which is what they use to test you for the coronavirus. They're saying that they're ready to test people because the earlier kit that they sent out several weeks ago, they were all faulty kits to every fucking state. I look at these fakes.
The fuck
you're like, whoa, shit! I thought you were gonna get up and leave, D.
No, but I wanted to. I'm like,
he's just fixing his shirt, y'all.
That the people say,
okay,
and do, or it's like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
they will throw shit at your face and tell you the shit is cotton candy and want you to believe that shit.
Nigga,
the shit fucks me up.
I'm not okay with this. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Yeah. So maybe not every state. It was the 12 states that got all the people who have the coronavirus. So it was every state that had people. It was
right.
Yeah. So it was every state that had people who supposedly had coronavirus or were getting the charter planes back from Japan from, you know, the cruise ship. Right. So the CDC, not like just a laboratory, the CDC recently sent faulty testing kits nationwide, not just one city, not just one state by mistake. It's now working to fix the problem. They also declined to say when the updated kits will be ready. So it's not ready yet. I lied. It's not even ready yet. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're trying to knock motherfuckers off. To me.
I'm gonna go back to what we should have added in this episode was the fucking Georgia guidelines. Probably we need to do a short episode on that or talk about it on our Instagram or something, because there's some population guidelines on that in I think 12 different languages or some shit like that.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
In Georgia.
12 different languages.
What's so scary about that when it just hit me right now. I'm thinking about my people down in Venezuela right now. They're going through what they're going through with Maduro. Mm-hmm. So if they're going through that with him, there's a lot of people trying to escape, a lot of refugees, people fleeing to Colombia, fleeing everywhere. And if this is going down there and they don't even have access to rice.
Anything.
You can't even get rice. You can't even get the basics.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Do you know if that shit gets somewhere like that, it's a done data.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Then in Africa, now with the commerce right now, in Africa, especially sub-Saharan Africa, you have heavy Chinese influence going on down there right now.
Well, I mean, even beyond that, you know how I said it was in December is when they first discovered it, even though they didn't report it till January. Think about the 600,000 Chinese students that are in the U.S. universities and schools that go home and come back. Not all of them, obviously, but even if 5% of those 600,000 kids went home and possibly contracted something on the way back, they could have easily just given it to people too. And now we're talking Italy shutting down. So all the people who visited Italy in the last few weeks, I mean, I can go on Japan. Fucking South Korea is exploding with people who are infected. I will say, like I said, it's not affecting children as much and people with strong immune systems. So maybe it is survival of the fittest. Who knows? But I think I said this on our other podcast or maybe on our Instagram, but I was saying that up to 60 to 80% of people will probably be infected because of the 80-20 rule. They just announced today, the CDC said it will be about 70% right now. I'm close. I'm good at what I do. Just saying. I'm close. You guys, I literally went and bought a journal yesterday because I'm going to start putting my prophecies down like I'm Nostradamus, and I'm going to like date it and see how close I get to all the things that I've been calling out.
Good.
Because I've been talking about being prepared for this fucking coronavirus for ages, and now everybody's sold out of masks and shit. Like in a 50-mile radius in my house. Like no Home Depots have it. And I know these construction workers aren't the ones buying it.
No.
Nobody's working on painting.
Ain't that much damn construction going on anywhere. All these fucking orange cones and shit. They ain't building that much shit.
No, and those N95 masks are usually for like paint and like wood sanding. So the people out in the streets who are doing construction is not buying that shit unless they're working with dirt and stuff that are like flying around. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's buying like 40 fucking packs of it at once.
No.
So, but anyway, I don't want to keep going too long. I love our conspiracy theory episodes. I wish we could do more. Best. It's my favorite. That and the fan pick. Those two are my favorite. So, like, I feel like I need to add one more episode. Like, I need to make more editing time available for myself. But anyways, if you love listening to us talk about random shit, every week on Thursday, we drop this episode at noon Central Time. We also have the news angle, which is our lowbrow news events conversation that we have within our little group. If you're interested, it drops on Monday at 9 a.m. So you can like listen to it on your drive to work or from work. So you can like take a break from the realities of life. We do talk about realities, but in a better way. Yes. So if you love us, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. Look at all these symbols that Dee's doing. I don't even know what he's
Symbolism.
doing. Oh my God. On your favorite podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and comment, hit that notification button so you get all our notifications every week. We drop 2 episodes. And don't forget, if you're feeling kind of like, super kind, and if the Lord has put it on your heart, go ahead and put us down for a subscription. Look at Dee making these faces. We have a subscription available starting at 99 cents a month. I mean, that's cheaper than going to the Dollar Tree. You don't even have to pay taxes. It's not even.
You gotta pay taxes on it.
Listen. I do want to shout out to because Dorinda had already put a subscription down, but also Leslie and who's the other
Leslie
one? A. Yes, Leslie A. And we have one more.
And Rachel.
Oh yeah, Rachel.
Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Birdie.
subscriptions. Birdie, we love you guys. Thank you so much for like putting your faith in us with your subscription. We're gonna do better. We're gonna bring more stuff.
We're gonna do so much better.
We're gonna do better. Starting next week, Dee will have a new speaker. So will Brandy. They'll have new cameras too. They'll be set up like CJ. Thanks to our fairy godfather. We're not gonna name names. Thank you.
No names. Fairy God sponsor.
Fairy God sponsor. Thank you for sponsoring us. We love you. I'll make them cookies later. That's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, on that note, be blessed, stay blessed. Don't panic, stay logical, be calm, and be prepared for all the things. We love you.
Drink vodka if you panic. Vodka.
Oh my God. On that note, bye.
Bye.